Berberine is being called natural Ozempic. That phrase is almost perfect for the internet. It sounds simple, it sounds powerful, it sounds like a shortcut, but it is also misleading, because berberine may support blood sugar and metabolism, but it does not work like Ozempic, and that can make you miss the real reason your metabolism is stuck. In this video, I'll show you why berberine, cinnamon, fenugreek, Gymnema, bitter melon, and Maitake are not the same tool, why some people feel a real difference, why others feel nothing, and why the real question is not, what is the natural Ozempic? The better question is, which metabolic pathway actually needs support? That question changes everything. Ozempic works in a very specific medical lane. It acts on the GLP-1 pathway, affecting insulin, glucagon, appetite, fullness, and how quickly food leaves the stomach. So for many people, the big effect is they feel full faster, they eat less. Their blood sugar may improve. That is a drug-level signal. Berberine is not doing that in the same way. It is not a natural injection. It is not a plant version of a GLP-1 drug. It is not an appetite switch. Berberine is more of a metabolic support compound. Different strength, different mechanism, different expectation. And this is where most people get confused. Weight gain is not one problem. Cravings are not one problem. Blood sugar is not one problem. Metabolism can be stuck because of appetite, but it can also be stuck because of insulin resistance, blood sugar crashes, fatty liver tendency, high triglycerides, poor sleep, stress hormones, inflammation, constipation, poor bile flow, or gut imbalance. So the first question should be, do you need appetite control or a different metabolic pattern? Because if the pattern is different, the tool should be different too. Here is the quick self-test. If you eat and still do not feel satisfied, that is one pattern. If you eat carbs and then crash, crave, or feel foggy, that is another pattern. If belly weight comes with high blood sugar, high triglycerides, or fatty liver signs, that is another pattern. If digestion feels heavy, slow, constipated, or bloated, that is another pattern. And if you are inflamed, tired, stressed, and nothing holds for long, that is not just blood sugar. That is terrain. The internet tries to force one trend onto all of these. Herbalism should not. Berberine becomes interesting when the pattern points toward metabolic overload, not just, I want to lose weight. More like, blood sugar is unstable, cravings come with crashes, energy drops after meals, insulin sensitivity may be poor, lipids are not ideal, the liver is under pressure. That is a better frame for berberine, not natural Ozempic, more like a strong metabolic compound that may support glucose and lipid metabolism. Less sexy, much more accurate, and accuracy matters because berberine is not a casual wellness gummy. It can affect blood sugar, digestion, and medication response. So the smarter question is, does this person actually show the pattern where berberine makes sense? Now here is the mistake that ruins this whole trend. People hear about berberine, then they add cinnamon, then fenugreek, then Gymnema, then bitter melon, then maybe chromium and apple cider vinegar, and now they have built a blood sugar stack without understanding the body. Several of these tools may push in a glucose-lowering direction. Some may irritate digestion, some may be wrong with medication, some may be wrong if the person is depleted, anxious, undereating, or already having blood sugar dips. The goal is not to take every metabolic herb. The goal is to choose the missing piece. That is the difference between herbalism and supplement collecting. Cinnamon is not Ozempic, and cinnamon is not berberine. It sits in a gentler lane. Think of it more like food-level glucose support. It may fit around meals, especially with mild blood sugar instability, sweet cravings, or carb-heavy meals. But a little cinnamon in food is not the same as high-dose cinnamon supplements. Cassia cinnamon can contain more coumarin, which can matter with prolonged high intake, especially for liver-sensitive people. So cinnamon is not magic, it is support. Fenugreek teaches a different lesson. Not every metabolic herb has to push harder. Fenugreek brings fiber and mucilage. That means it can support fullness, slow the glucose wave, support bowel rhythm, and fit when the pattern includes cravings, constipation tendency, dry stool, poor satiety, or a gut that needs a softer approach. Think of Fenugreek like a sponge in the meal. Not a whip, not a stimulant, not a burn fat fast trick. More like slow the rush, smooth the curve, and help the body handle food with less chaos. Gymnema is different again. People call it sugar destroyer. But the real value is not the nickname. Gymnema becomes interesting when the person is trapped in a sweet craving loop, craving sugar after meals, crashing and needing sweets, reaching for carbs even when they know they do not need them. That is the Gymnema conversation. Sweet signal, glucose rhythm, craving pattern. Bitter melon is another lane. It is sharper, more bitter, more metabolic clearing. It may fit when the body feels heavy, sluggish, damp, overloaded, glucose-focused, and stuck. But bitter does not mean better for everyone. If someone is dry, depleted, anxious, underweight, reactive, or already has loose stools, pushing bitter metabolic herbs can be the wrong direction. The herb may be famous. The person may still be wrong for it. Now Maitake. This is where people usually miss the bigger picture. Metabolism is not only about glucose. It is also about the terrain around glucose. Inflammation, immune signaling, gut ecology, liver burden, fluid metabolism, stress resilience. Maitake is not mushroom Ozempic. That would be the same mistake again. Maitake belongs to a deeper support layer. It may fit when the body feels heavy, inflamed, sluggish, immune reactive, and metabolically stuck. Sometimes the body does not need one stronger blood sugar tool. It needs a better metabolic environment. So here's the clean map. Appetite and portion size, that is the appetite lane. Blood sugar crashes after meals, that is the glucose rhythm lane. Insulin resistance, high triglycerides, fatty liver tendency, or belly weight gain, that is the metabolic overload lane. Slow digestion, constipation, bile stagnation, and heaviness after meals, that is the gut-liver bile lane. Sweet cravings, that is the craving signal lane. Inflammation, fatigue, immune imbalance, and poor resilience, that is the terrain lane. Now the herbs make sense. They may all touch metabolism, but they do not tell the same story. And the order matters. If your digestion is slow, your sleep is poor, your meals are chaotic, and your body is already crashing between meals, the first move may not be a stronger supplement. It may be protein, fiber, meal timing, bowel rhythm, bile flow, gut repair, or one gentler formula before one strong compound. The right tool at the wrong time can look like the wrong tool. One more thing has to be clear. If you have diabetes, prediabetes, PCOS, fatty liver, high triglycerides, kidney disease, liver disease, gallbladder issues, or you take medication, do not build a glucose-lowering stack from short videos, especially if you use medication for blood sugar, blood pressure, cholesterol, blood thinning, or immune suppression. Natural does not mean weak. Natural does not mean safe for every person. And natural does not mean you can combine everything. The smarter move is not more metabolic supplements. The smarter move is know the pattern. Start with the safest missing piece. Track how your body responds, and do not ignore medication interactions. That is how natural medicine becomes serious. So no, Berberine is not natural Ozempic. And it does not need to be. The real value of Berberine is not that it imitates a drug. The real value is that it may support a different metabolic pathway. Cinnamon, Fenugreek, Gymnema, bitter melon, and Maitake each have their own lane. The best results do not come from copying a trend. They come from matching the right tool to the right metabolic pattern. Same word, weight loss, different pathways, same word. Blood sugar, different bodies, same trend. Natural Ozempic, more useful truth. Subscribe if you want herbal medicine explained by pattern, not by hype.
The Herbalist.